act of leaving his old body to take a new one, of rising to freedom, might have been enough to exhaust him for days. But they had immediately ousted the sun, and all of their own power had not been enough to accomplish that. They'd had to steal the power needed for it, and sapped all their own strength in the process. They'd not yet recovered. They found Sorora pacing, and it was still unsettling to attach her name to the girl's body she had stolen, the twin of the one he wore. The girl's name had been Avora, and Furtaro had so many memories of her that were not his own. He was still, too, getting used to the strange double vision that overlaid his sister's true form atop the mortal body, a shining pillar of light, compacted and compressed and forced into a too small vessel. The world itself would be too small to contain Sorora. The room had little space for pacing, forcing her to make short circles and tight turns, for a great white mound lay against the wall. It lifted its head when Furtaro entered, reptilian features shifting in a way that most would not recognize as a smile. Straz, first of the Mravigi, who had so loyally guarded the twins for centuries. And how could he not have, when Furtaro was his creator, Sorora his defender? Straz was too old and dignified for something like joy, but he glowed with pride each time he saw the twins. Furtaro gave him a tired smile in return, and then called softly, "Sister." She hadn't noticed him, and her shoulders went stiff as her head swung around to face him. "How are you feeling?" A smile that was mostly a mask plastered itself on her face. She didn't mean for him to, but Furtaro saw the way her eyes flickered down to his hand, his left hand that hung open-fingered at his side. It wasn't for more than a second, was hardly even noticeable, but these mortal bodies were so unsubtle. He curled his fingers into a fist, but only the right hand managed it. The left hand stayed still, unmoving, unresponsive. Sorora saw that too, and Furtaro saw disappointment wash over her face. Furtaro gave her a weak smile, so brittle it felt like it would shatter. "Any other ideas?" he asked. Nothing they had tried so far had given him the use of his left hand, the hand which, on his real body, his old body, had been destroyed by an enterprising group of traitors. He'd used his stolen power to seal off the damage and keep the destroyed hand from eternally leeching his power away. But ever since he had risen from imprisonment to take this new form, the left hand had been useless and unusable. Furtaro's power had always been to shape, to make something where there had been nothing, to pull beauty from ugliness, to change and twist and unfurl. His power had been to create with his hands, and now it was hand. It should not have been so. It felt disproportionate, but its absence had locked away half his power. His shaping was weak and ineffective, and left him sweaty and weeping and cursing. And because they were tied together, two halves of a whole, Furtaro's weakness made Sorora weak too. He knew weakness was one thing she could not abide. She walked the short distance to stand before him, and took his left hand, the useless one, using her own fingers to curl his into a fist. She held his hand there, between their stolen host bodies, and said soothingly, "I promised you I would make this right. Do you still have faith in me?" Before their parents had cast them out, they had shaped the world to their will, and their will had always been one. That had lasted centuries, trapped far beneath the earth with nothing but each other. Together, they had removed the sun. There was nothing they could not accomplish so long as they had each other. Furtaro had always believed it to be so. "I do," he said, because it was what she needed to hear. She needed his trust and his belief that she could fix everything. They relied on each other as much as anything. It was how their parents had shaped them. He would always ask for her protection because she needed to protect him. She would always press him to creation, to creativity, because she knew shaping ran through his blood. They were two halves of a whole, and they would bend the world for the other, had bent the world. "Soon," Sorora murmured, fury and longing mixing in her voice, "you will make something beautiful from this miserable world. I felt...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.